So I'm now going to offer you a product that everybody wants. And I'm going to offer you a product that everybody who wants it, which is everybody, cannot get enough of. They will buy as much of this product as you will sell them. Not a bad opportunity so far. And now, here's the critical piece. I'm going to talk to you about a product that has only 2% market penetration. So let me put that in numbers, right? One of the problems that Nokia is facing right now, of course, is you've got market saturation. Everyone's got a cell phone. Now you got to figure out, how do you penetrate the market more deeply. So I'm now offering you a product everybody wants, everybody cannot get enough of, and penetration is 2%, which means 98% of the demand for this product is unmet. What is it? Clean tech. Clean tech in every one of its forms. Renewable energy, alternative energy, green building, retrofitting, smart grid. You pick it. It is the greatest business opportunity of all time. And those who don't see it coming will miss the greatest business opportunity anyone has ever been presented. Now, yes, there are problems, but problems, challenges, are our greatest opportunity. Again, Finland. Let's see. When has Finland been at its greatest? When the challenges have been the greatest? You have one now. You had economic challenges before, and now you have another. So, and it plays right to a lot of Finland's best skill sets. But you have to be aware of it. So the slides go on and on and on. I can talk about, within the few minutes left, about specific technologies that we're working on in the US. We're working on thin film. Amazing. They talk about the Chinese doing all these cheap solar panels. Really? Great. But it's kind of like they're stringing wires and poles, and we're thinking about cell technology. Why? Because thin film solar is cheap, it's more ecologically safe, and it can be created lots of places. You don't have to send it out to build. It's done with like an inkjet printer. And then organic PVs, you spray on like you're spraying on fertilizer on the yard. Today, Nano Solar in California, one company, Sunnyvale, California, delivered to Germany, and it's installed and operating, thin film solar at $3 a watt installed. The solar, raw solar, 99 cents per watt installed. It is cheaper than coal. Not far off. A lot of billions are going into this. Not far off, windows will generate, clear windows will generate solar power. The paint on your house can generate solar power. It doesn't matter, you get less efficiency, but you have so much volume. In a single day, enough solar energy falls on the US to power the country for an entire year, if you could catch it all. But the point of the matter is, it's there. Wind power, many technologies that the US is leading on, many of which Finland is also leading on. I don't want to talk about the specifics. I want to talk about how you think about problem solving. Something just happened, and I'm going to tell you about an event, and years from now you'll remember that I told you this. And part of what I think you're going to hear in the PETA computing conversation later this afternoon. DARPA, once again, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, the sort of that hard, wonky scientist types that the US pours dollars into. They're not looking for immediate returns. They're just learning. They did a following experiment. They took, I think it was a dozen weather balloons. You know what the weather balloons are? The small balloons attached to the ground, and they floated them in the air. Red balloons. A dozen. And they scattered them across the entire United States. They could be anywhere, 12 locations within the United States. Unknown. No notice that this was being happening. They put them up, I think in a day or two, they were done. And then they announced a contest. There was the prize, and it wasn't a lot of money. There was a prize for the first person or team to submit the precise location of all 12 balloons scattered randomly across the United States. An immense area, right? The Grand Canyon alone runs about 2/3 the length of your border with Russia. Big country. How long did it take? 2 months? 5 months? 2 weeks?
2 days.
Yeah. MIT did it in 8.5 hours. Whoa. pay attention, the future has arrived. In 8.5 hours, a team of students at MIT located 12 bits of data down to the perfect latitude and longitude across the entire United States. How did they do it? Distributed power, distributed thinking, distributed data distribution. You think about if you shut down the internet, you shut down those tools that DARPA helped invent, you could have spent years and never found all 12 balloons. And they found them in 8.5 hours. So why is that relevant to this conversation? Because we tend to be stuck in an old way of thinking about solving our problems. We are literally tied to not just, in some cases, how we have been thinking, but actually to the physical constraints of our prior behavior. When we talk about, smart grid, that is based on a construct that says a central power generator with hard lines strung to everybody is the right way to solve the problem. Which is more or less like saying telephone poles with copper wires strung to a central switching station is the way that communications should always be. Now there's still a role for those, right? But we're tending to try and fix problems with an old way of thinking. And that is not how these problems are going to get fixed at all. Think about, just had a lunch with a bunch of Finnish innovators. Now, you want to solve problems for the third world and all that kind of stuff, fine. You supply an integrated, cheap solar panel, wind generator, cheap battery storage in a single pack, so you don't have to do any kind of major coal plants or hydroelectric dams or gas-fired power plants. You don't spend billions of dollars stringing power lines. You simply bring power generation to some shack in the middle of wherever it is, and they've got enough power for a refrigerator, TV, lights, and their computer.